Hi there, welcome to the introduction of tools. In this lesson I will show you the basic tools that you are going to use. These tools are not expensive and they can be found from your local art supplies store. I will explain the purpose of each tool and I would suggest you complete this lesson before going shopping. Please feel free to jot down notes as we go or pause the video whenever you need it. Are you ready? Let's go. As you will be making paper templates using a knife, the purpose of the cutting mat is to safeguard the work surface from getting damaged and keep your knife from getting dull. When I do pastel, I use the cutting mat almost like a desk pad. I find it more convenient to just keep it on my desk surface the entire time. For the size, I like to use a B4 size because it's bigger and covers more desk surface. I would suggest you to get at least an A4 size. To make your paper templates, you will use an X-Acto knife to make some precise cut. Some packaging includes a few spare blades for replacement. There are many kinds of blades, and this is the one you need. The utility knife is used for scraping the pastel stick to make pastel powder. It is also used to make some quick and straight paper cut. You will need a pair of scissors. When you prepare the picture frame, you will be mounting artist's tape on the edge of your drawing paper, and the scissors will help to trim the tape evenly. For soft pastel, there are many brands available in the market, and the one I am using is called Sakura, which is a Japanese brand. I have 2 boxes, each one contains 24 colors, so this gives me a total of 48 colors. Let me show you the model number written on the outside of the box. It is NCT24A and NCT24B. If you are interested, you may check this on the internet. Now let's take a look inside. I have never rearranged the ordering of the colors, so this is what they look like when you first open them. I have been using this brand for a while and I am quite satisfied with the quality. It is smooth and clean to touch. And they will not crumble or powder in your hands. Let me show you a few colors. It feels smooth on paper and the color blends easily. Some companies make their pastels with paper sleeves wrapped around, and the number representing each color is printed on the sleeve. For this brand, they have engraved the number on the stick instead, which is a bit difficult to see, so I have made my own sleeve. This helps me to locate my color a lot faster. You also want to avoid color cross-contamination. This is why I have also labeled the number on the edge of the box. It reminds me to return the same color back to the same slot, so that the pastel would not pick up some other color by accident and then transfer to my picture. If you are a beginner, then I would recommend this brand to you. If this brand is not available in your area, you can try to look for a German brand instead. It's called Faber-Castell. Make sure it is soft pastel, and size 36 should cover most of the colors I use in my lessons. You may want to check out your local art supplies store first and see what's available. Another way is online shopping such as Amazon.com. I would also suggest you getting a box of colored pencils. I am using Faber-Castell watercolor pencils with 48 colors. Watercolor pencils combine qualities of both colored pencils and watercolor paints. By adding water it gives the watercolor effect, but in my case, I use them just like regular colored pencils. In my work, the colored pencils are great help when I want to add fine details which cannot be achieved by the blunt pastel sticks. Another choice to consider is the regular colored pencils which you can find in any stationery store. Most of them are wax-based and relatively cheaper. After all, choosing colored pencils really is a personal preference. If you are not sure, your best bet is to go with a cheaper one and slowly adjust as you become more experienced. In terms of application, a soft pastel drawing works well as a base for watercolor pencils when the pastel surface is left unfixed. However, for colored pencils, it is better to apply fixative spray to stabilize the pastel surface before adding colored pencils on top. For pencils, you can use either the mechanical type or the wooden type. You will need it to draft patterns for making paper templates. In my opinion, since we are not using it to do sketches kind of work, I prefer using the mechanical pencil because it is more convenient. Since we will be drafting paper template, we also need to have an eraser to make correction. A kneadable art eraser is often used in Nagomi pastel art when you want to remove or lighten color in your picture. You can dab and slide the eraser to remove colors. You can knead it in any shape to suit your needs. To avoid dust, keep it in a small container whenever you are not using it. The kneadable eraser usually lasts a long time. Until one day it doesn't pick up color anymore, that's when you will replace it with a new one. This essentially is an eraser in a pen shape. The brand I am using is Tombow, Mono Zero, the size is 2.3 mm. They also sell the replacements separately. Because its tip is ultra-fine, it is most useful for making thin white outlines and removing color in acute corners. This micropigment ink marker by Sakura is 0.25 mm thick. Similar to the colored pencils, you will use this ultra-fine tip ink marker when you want to draw something tiny or to make outlines in your picture. I also use it to write my name and title at the bottom of the frame. This is quite straightforward. The ruler is used whenever you want to draw and cut in straight lines. You should get one that is at least 15 centimeters long. Artist's tape is also called draft tape or masking tape. Comparing with regular tape, artist's tape is less adhesive, which means it will not cause damages to the drawing paper. The artist's tape is used to make a white border or frame for your picture. For a 15 by 15 centimeters drawing paper, which is what I use most of the time, the width of the tape is 1.5 centimeters or 0.5 centimeters. If you will use a larger size of drawing paper, you can choose the width that is proportional to your picture size. There are 3 things you need to know about your drawing paper. First is size. For Nagomi Pastel Art, the standard size of paper is 15 by 15 centimeters. However, if you are not able to purchase paper in this size, you may trim it from your own sketchbook or sketch paper. Second is the weight or thickness. The one I normally use is 176 GSM and sometimes I use 220 GSM. Anything lower than 170 GSM is considered too thin or too light. GSM stands for grams per square meter, which is the measuring unit for paper. Third is color. Some sketch papers are not pure white. Like mine, for example, it is called eggshell white. But it is perfectly fine if you use pure white color. To make your paper templates, you can use A4 printer paper or tracing paper. For beginners, it may be a good idea to use tracing paper, because it is transparent, you can see the picture clearly and know exactly where you want to put your template. Versus using a piece of white paper, for example, you kinda have to guess a little bit to position your template. Tracing paper has one drawback though, you need to be extra careful not to rip it while doing the trimming. Since tracing paper is so thin, it is easy to tear by the moving blade. A damp towel is used to clean your fingers from time to time during the lesson. This will save you time from running to the sink back and forth. You are recommended to keep a makeup brush handy for sweeping away small pieces of rubber and excessive powder off your picture. I simply reuse a plastic tray which I got from food packaging. To keep my desk tidy and save the trip walking to the garbage can, I use it to collect pastel powder and small trashes. Once you are done with your artwork, you will use a fixative spray to stabilize the pigment on the surface and to preserve it from dust. There are many different brands and types in the market, so please make sure you get the one that is suitable for soft or dry pastels. Because it contains alcohol, please use and store it according to the label on the bottle. Alright, you have just learned about all the basic tools for Nagomi pastel drawing. Next, I will show you a few accessories that are good to have. This is pretty self-explanatory, you need it for sharpening your pencils. Cotton buds can be used like a paintbrush to draw fine details. Cotton pads do a good job spreading the pastel powder across the page and gives a much softer effect. Similar to cotton pads, an eyeshadow applicator can be used to blend and mix colors without using your fingers. Besides using a knife to scrape pastel powder, you can also use a metal drain filter like this one. It is safe for kids to use, and it allows you to scrape a larger amount of fine powder a lot quicker. Another choice for scraping powder is a coin. It is safe for kids, and who doesn't have a coin?